I'm George the Poet,
Dropout UK,
and you're locked into Dropout UK.
This is a poem about a craze. This craze is a phrase. Now this craze of a phrase is hopefully a phase.
I used to rap under a different name, and then when I drifted away from rap, I didn't really want to take on another persona. I just wanted to talk exactly how I was. And since I didn't have another name, people always introduced me as George the Poet. It stuck.
6 months, just recently discovered you only live once.
Before I did poetry, I didn't have anything to do with poetry. You just don't know, like, it's not like they're trying to say you're not good or you're wasting. Actually, someone tried to tell me the other day I was wasting my time. Or she's like an old friend who thinks she knows everything. So like, she'd never actually listened to any of my poetry, which is cool. I'm so fine with that, yeah. But she kept telling me there's no market for poetry though. I was like, shut up! Just listen, like, if you actually listen to any of it, you would get that it's not really, it doesn't require a market because it's its own thing. It doesn't, you can't really compare it to anything right now. So yeah, when I get that kind of surprise, I don't mind. I think they'll get it when they see it.
Like, they're all like kind of being chauffeured to this mysterious hotel Atlanta.
How many of them are there?
Right, so we've got Wretch 32, Dan Bastille, Emily Sande, Elia, Sam Smith, and Prof Green. And it's a 30-second ad, so it's going to be really fun.
I did an advert for BBC's Hackney Weekender in 2012, and I did an advert for Formula One's 2012 season closer. I just did another advert for Formula One's Monaco Grand Prix, and it's like, you wouldn't think that that's what people will get into poetry for, or that's what poetry would lead to. At the end of the day, who wrote the rule book? Why shouldn't it be? Why shouldn't it be like all encompassing? Because I think this can transfer to film, if you ask me, a lot easier than a lot of rap can.
YOLO stands for you only live once. And to my generation, that means anything goes. But I'm here to say,
instead of looking for a job that you want, create the job you want.
See, millions of people in the last 6 months just recently discovered you only live once.
You know what you want to do. People might not understand where that fits in, but if you're good at it, they'll make it fit. They'll accommodate for that.
The consequences at all costs. Convince yourself this isn't your loss. Like the last time I said YOLO, come with me on a journey going far. I staggered from the left to the right and I still can't remember the rest of the night. It's not even comic, it's a par. I told my friend I'm sorry for the vomit in your car, but you know, bro, YOLO.
I think confidence is paramount in it. So you have to be confident in your ability to gain from any situation, even if it's an apparent loss. You have to be confident that you will learn something or you'll come back better. Like at the end of last year, 2012, I lost all the poetry on one of my phones. Like all the poetry, stuff that I hadn't memorized yet. I can't even begin to remember now because it was so like, I'd built it up over like a year and a half. Just every time I think of something, I'd note it down. And it wasn't just lyrics, it was concepts and stuff as well. Just other abstract ideas. And I was just like, I was in a bad mood, man. I couldn't talk for like 2 days, yeah, but I promised myself that all my new stuff would be better than anything. It doesn't matter. I had to have the confidence that that stuff was expendable in comparison to what I can later produce. And that's how I genuinely feel when I look at the stuff that I've written in the past 6 months. Way better than anything that I had. It's way better than anything I had last year. So it's like, yeah, man, just be confident, believe in yourself.
Release is a must, like a proper safe account. Cause life's like a calculator and a dealer's amount of paper. At the end of the day, you gotta make it count. So I live for the moment. Reassess what I'm prepared to give to the moment. Allow my focus to shift to the moment, symbolized in this drink that I live to the gift of the moment. Means I'm less likely not to share a DL, but increase the times I forgot to wear a seatbelt.
If like the world of work doesn't really concern you, you'll just do whatever you have to do to get a job here, which I would have done I did do since I was like 15. I used to just sweep here in the barbers. Then I got a job at a call center. Then I was selling tickets in Leicester Square. Then I got some job like in sexual health, yeah. And that was cool for me at the time because all I wanted was to make money to get the things that I wanted, innit? And just to have a bit of freedom and stop like having to deal with like our heating running out and dumb stuff like that. Just for more options, innit? But now, in terms of a livelihood, what I personally want is to entertain and to like help with the educating process, innit? So I'd be wasting my, since I know what I want, I'd be wasting my time doing anything else.
Yeah, man.
And I got the opportunity to do it. But that's like, everyone's like, oh yeah, so what's your inspiration for writing? But it is what it is, life, innit? Like, you just go through stuff. All I'm doing when I'm writing is putting my thoughts down in rhyme. But they're still my thoughts. Like, you have thoughts. Everyone has opinions on the experiences that they go through. So like, yeah, and growing up on the estate and that, you just see mad things that stretch your imagination and really test your understanding of human nature. Yeah, like, I have to talk about it. I think talking about it, you don't realize because you're just going through life, innit? But when you talk about stuff, at least when you talk about it in a public forum and you put it out there, you're helping the world because you're adding to this like pool of human knowledge. And the more people can reflect and understand and just muse on life, the better we will be equipped to like help each other through it and stuff. Because yeah, every now and then you hear of a celebrity going through like a personal, like Angelina Jolie's recent operation, yeah. Like, you might think, why does everyone need to know? But that's exactly why everyone needs to know. Everyone needs to know that like people go through this, it's that real. You get me? You can go through that kind of thing and still live a fulfilled life. That's why I think it's important that entertainers document truth. Talk about it.
But since when did you become too cool for laser tag? So you work in an office and your days are drag. Cars on the way to the station, just race a jack. Then wipe the sweat from your face and brag about your newfound.
But life's complicated and it's varied, and we're all figuring it out. We all make mistakes and that. That's why I think we should talk about it. Like, you know,
calling him up in the prison, hearing him falling in love with the vision. And when he's here and we can ball in another division, and you hear from me that all of the brothers have risen. I'm repeating myself though. I keep repeating myself. All my poems are starting to sound the same, but it's cool as long as my heart isn't down the drain. I wouldn't even mind getting martyred without the fame, cause you only.
I grew up in northwest London, like Neasden, and I lived two lives because I went to grammar school in Barnet, and that's like a really suburban area. It was a grammar school as well. It was really strict, I just watched my friends. A lot of my friends veer off onto the wrong kind of path, and I went through different stages of it. I went through like kind of trying to work with it, and then trying to fight it, and trying to like prevent it. And eventually, I just had to distance myself from it. And by the time I got to uni, I'd had enough time to think. Because my plan was just to make money and just get out of that area and never ever mix with that kind of life again. But I realized that if everyone who's capable of doing that does so, no one's gonna fix that. No one's gonna fix the problems that need to be fixed. It's gonna be a brain drain and a talent drain.
As long as my heart isn't down the drain, I wouldn't even mind getting martyred without the fame. Cause you only live once, you gotta make it count. As much as it's a reason to go mad in a rave, I'm so glad it's a wave, cause this one makes sense. It's just used to justify a lot of dumb statements. I could live my life like a music video, but those after effects do stick with me though. So if I use YOLO to help me to sin, then why wouldn't I use it?
I think my biggest strength with working on like what I do is that I know myself. I'm very clear on what I want to say, so it doesn't matter who I'm working with or who I'm presenting it to. I know how I want it to come out, but I think my biggest weakness is that I got too much to say. Like sometimes I struggle with like being selective and filtering it.
I can't ignore the fact that life's a lot deeper. Some stuff isn't worth the ball, cause some of that dumb stuff's irreversible.
In terms of my contemporaries in my age group, I really want to work with the Weeknd. I'd like to work with Frank Ocean. I'd like to work with Lana Del Rey. In terms of over here, I think I'm having conversations with everyone I want to work with. So, yeah, you just wait and see.
Doesn't have to be done. There's no doubt in my brain that you can change the world. I'd go out on my way.
Like, the lines are blurred, innit? Like, sometimes my poetry spills over into rap and whatever. Like, in terms of, I'm a very open-minded person, innit? So it doesn't, I'm not closing myself off to any kind of musical routes. And I do want to pursue a musical route, yeah. But also I got my mind in other things. Like, I do want to be very influential in education. So yeah, I'm trying to work towards that.
You gotta make it count. So make it count.